is arranged marriages. People say that grew up in France and they can be brought back to other countries and be married off. Is there international protection for that, or is it country by country?
I think it's not only country by country; it's family by family.
Yeah, I mean,
the level of education,
yeah,
the financial
but it's still status. A major issue, yeah.
I think it's becoming less and less the norm.
It's always the sense that families should be very involved. But now you have, not only here in the West, I mean, one of the kind of big shifts are, in the Muslim world, I think, in the last, I don't know, I would say maybe 50 years, is you have very large numbers of female college students and postgraduate students and women in professions. I have a friend from Saudi Arabia, and she said, like when you're young and you're in grammar school, they separate the men and the women. But then when you go to medical school, when you're already, you're young and that age, they put them all together. It's much more common now that, and I see it, for example, among my students in college, where, a Muslim couple might meet, let's say, in a class or in college. But again, there would always be the involvement of the family as well, or traditionally that would be the case, that the families would have to approve. But one of the things that's very important is, and I alluded to the fact that you have a lot of modern movements now for gender protection of women and things like that. It's very clearly part of Islamic law that women cannot be married against their will. It's very clear. There was a woman who came to the Prophet Muhammad who said, that she was forced into this marriage, and the Prophet said the marriage is invalid, right? It's null and void. The problem is that you also have a very strong imperative from the tradition itself about respect and even obedience to parents. So sometimes, your parents want you to marry somebody, and even though your consent is required, you might feel like it's wrong to really, sort of disobey your parents in that. So that's kind of where the tension comes in there. But it's quite clear that women are not supposed to be married against their will.
Actually,
it's not
the person.
to Islam, I know.
Yeah.
Right. Yes, of course.
The person who does conduct the marriage is supposed to ask specifically. But as Maria was saying, sometimes the girl would say yes because she would think the parents know better, or as far as I know, it's mostly in more rural areas where that would happen. In other families, when you say arrange, it won't be like, here is this guy, you have to marry him. It would be like families on both sides will arrange a dinner, a party, something where they will make them know each other and talk nicely about the other. So it's all like a scenario going on. So the youth will think that we met each other, but it's being arranged. But it's not arranged in that very specific ways. And they would not, if they don't like it, they wouldn't say anything about it.